There is a beautiful lesson about growth in life that we learn from Parshas Emor. The pasuk tells us, "Shor o chesev o ez," a shor, an ox, a chesev, which is a sheep, o ez, or a goat, ki valed, when they are born. V'hayashiv as yamim tachas imo, they have 7 days under its mother. Umiyom hashmini v'halan, from the 8th day and on, yeratzeh lekorban ishel Hashem. It could be brought as a korban, but prior to that period, the animal cannot be brought as a korban. So the Kli Yakar points out something very interesting to take note of. He says, when an ox is born, the moment it's born, it's given that name of shor, of an ox, which will remain with it the rest of its life. And the same is true for the chesed, for the sheep, and the same is true for the goat. The second it's born, it gets its name, and that's it. Although the animal physically grows throughout life, but on an emotional level, on a midos, on a character level, ki eino mosif al shleimuso v'al atzimuso klum. The animal does not add to its growth on an emotional level, on a maturity level, at all. Physically, yes, of course it grows. Ki hu nolad im kol shleimuso. The way the animal is born is complete. So explains the Kli Yakar, Masha ein kein ha'adam. A human being is different than an animal. Because a human being is born, but a human being is a work in progress. And throughout our lives, we are works in progress. If we think of it this way, when a human being is born, we call it a baby. That baby becomes a toddler. That toddler becomes a child. That child becomes an adolescent. That adolescent ends up becoming an adult at some point. We as human beings grow in different stages, and even as we are adults, we continue to grow on an emotional level, on a spiritual level. When it comes to our midos, to our character traits, we're constantly growing and improving. And listen to the words of the Kli Yakar. He says, "Ukniya shleimuso," the way in which a person completes themselves is tiluya b'masav, is dependent on a person's actions. Meaning that throughout life, we're striving to complete ourselves, to know what our job is, to know what our tafkid is, to improve ourselves. And the truth is that a Jew never reaches that place of shleimus, because we're constantly growing. From the day that we're born until the day we leave this world, we just want to grow and grow and grow. But part of this, part of the growing, is the realization that it's a journey and there are mistakes that happen along the way. And for a Jew, when those mistakes happen, one doesn't run away, but one runs toward. One realizes that we are not animals with the expectation that we are complete beings when we are born. Rather, we're human beings that learn from our experiences, that learn from our environment. We are human beings that make mistakes, and human beings who learn from our mistakes. And sometimes we make the same mistake over and over and over again. And through the journey of life, at some point we turn around and we say, I have to find a way to not make that mistake again and to grow. And for some of us, it's easier than others. Some of us are very challenged in particular areas, and some of us have those areas easier and are challenged in other areas. But as human beings, we're constantly growing, and our growth is dependent on our desire to want to learn from all that we've experienced, and really to grow via our actions into building a character that we are proud of, and on the journey, on the road to reaching that sense of shleimus, that completeness that we all want to continue to grow toward throughout our life. That's what the difference is between a human being and an animal. It is the ability for us to be able to grow, to learn, and to improve ourselves throughout our journey, our long journey, please God, throughout our lives. May we be zocha, may we merit to constantly be learning and making sure that we're different than the animal which is born, that is already done, while we continue to build ourselves over a lifetime. Thank you for listening, and have a good Shabbos.